We are going to deliver a talk today on food and nutrition from our Food Nutrition and Healthcare subject group of the College of Life Sciences and Technology. Thank you for those of you who are in the room for joining, and also thank you to those of you who are online for joining this talk today. I'd like to have the great honor of introducing our speaker for this afternoon. I'd like to introduce a very well-known dietitian. Her name is Ms. Clara Jane, and she's an accredited practicing dietitian from Australia. After she graduated from the University of Sydney in Australia, she's taken on a number of different roles, both in clinical and in community capacities. In addition to her work with nutrition education, Clara has also had a broad experience as a consultant in the nutritional science area and also food industry. Also, just a very important point is Clara is also an adjunct lecturer here with us at Hong Kong U Space. So I'm going to pass the time now to Clara, who's going to give us a very interesting talk. So thank you, Clara.
Thank you, Wendy, for your introduction. And I'm so very happy to be here and then have this sharing with all of you. Today, the topic is about nutrition for healthy longevity. I think this is a very close topic to us. So when I got this topic, and I do feel very excited because I think this is something that many of us we really want to know. Because I think for us living longer for sure is the good news, right? It is something that we want to pursue. However, something also very important. I think if it is just with a long lifespan, is it good enough? I think many of us we would like to have a good and then also high quality long lifespan. That is even more important because it is not just a good news, but I would say it is even a blessing. So that's why today, although the time is not very long, I also hope that I can share with you some really important points. And then I hope that in the coming future, and if you would like to know more about that, then you're more than welcome to let me know or let Wendy know, and then we can always share more with you. So first of all, when we think about aging, okay, so what do you think? I mean, when we think about aging, inevitably, sometimes we think about something, maybe it's neutral or it may be sometimes it can be a little bit negative. For example, you will always hear many elderly, they would say, I sleep less, okay, than before. Sometimes, you also hear that, I can't move like when I was younger. And then maybe a lot more sedentary, spending the time a lot at home or maybe anyway, not that moving. And then sometime, I think this is even the younger generation, they will also say, my brain is slower now. Okay, for example, like I can't remember things or I can't focus or something like that. And then even worse is sometimes we might even interpret that aging is kind of like lonely. It is like I'm alone, okay? So I feel lonely. And then it is kind of, quite sad, I would say. So do you agree that aging, that means all of this, or at least, with this feeling, okay? So I hope today, the time is not very long, but I hope after this, then you can kind of have some other thought about it, okay? So all right. When will you start to prepare for healthy aging? I mean, many of us, we would like to, we expect we can live longer, definitely. But then we also would like to have a healthy aging. So I put the first answer, which is as early as possible, but it is actually quite ambiguous, right? What is meant by as early as possible? So what do you think? Like, when will you start to prepare it? Well, maybe you have an answer in your mind, but very often that what I always hear, it will be like this. Any time after retirement from work. Like after I retire, then I will do this. For example, very often that I hear people, they would say, I would do more exercise after I retired. Yes, I would eat better, stay at home and prepare my lunch and dinner after I retired, right? Is this also something that you thought? Okay. And also, Some may say middle age. Well, now this is actually quite interesting because what is the definition of middle age? Okay, well, like a 30-something years old can also be considered as middle age, or maybe even 70 years something years. So, but to me, I would say, although already presented to you in the very beginning, I would say as early as possible. Okay, so but how to prepare it and how to work on it? Well, this is kind of quite difficult. But anyway, we talk about aging, and then we talk about old, we talk about elderly. So how would you interpret this term? Like, what is aging? Okay, and then when we're talking about old, do you have any definition in mind? Okay, so if we're starting from like at the two little boxes, okay, in the middle, okay. So you will find that maybe you can also observe somebody around you. You will find that some they are really like have a blessing. Okay, they can be, in terms of age, they are quite old already in terms of age. However, no matter their physical or their mental capacity, they can be still very young. Okay, it's just like young people. Okay, and however, some of them, maybe they are not very old, but why they look old? And then they also don't want to move, okay? And then they think, oh, they always keep saying that I am old, so I'm not going to do anything, okay? And indeed, some information for you to know, sorry that we may be a bit small, but if we look into some information, I have to say, yes, our metabolism really, it can't be always the same throughout our life, our lifespan. It declines. And when does it start to decline? Probably around 20-something years old. Okay, that is true, but you don't feel it. Okay, because it is still starting from a very peak performance and then gradually slowing down. And I'm not sure if you have this thought also, or you always hear people, they talk about this after 30 years. So I feel like I can't do this. It's kind of like 30 years. So it's a gate, okay, or it is a turning point. Scientifically, we can't exactly prove this, okay? But, indeed, it seems that some aging signs start from around 30-something years old. Okay, but anyway, if I try to kind of have a bit of summary, okay, according to WHO, definition or the interpretation. The good news is basically there is no typical older person. So that means doesn't matter you are 20 years old, or you are 40, 50, 60, 80, or even 90. Well, you can still consider I'm not that old because according to WHO, actually, there is no typical older person. Okay. So I think for us, something very important that is don't always just think about the age, but think about the biological age of your body. Okay, so this is something that we can focus. Of course, there are many ways that can help us to achieve this, but I would say nutrition, our diet, our lifestyle played a very, very important role. Okay, so now my next information that we'd like to share with you. Why aging become a concern? You will find that of course we always talk about aging, but these years it seems that this become an even more big topic, okay, draw a lot more attention. After all, it's because if we look at the aging population or the number of people considered as elderly, actually it is increasing, okay? How surprising. If we look at the data, according to the statistic from WHO, since 1995, okay, at that time, the life expectancy, it was 60-something only. And now, last year, 2024, okay, the more updated information told us that 73.3. Okay, so you think, 73.3 actually is still very, quite young now. Okay, not that much. So now I would like to show you another piece of information. Okay, so this is a world map. Okay, we don't have to go into super detail, but I just would like us to look at the color. Okay, the color actually represent the life expectancy, the length of it. Okay, the darker the color, actually the longer that would be the life expectancy. You will find that for those areas with the very dark color, they are the country considered as the developed country. Okay, so in general, well, the economy is better, education level is better, or maybe well, in general, the lifestyle, everything seems to be better also. So what does this tell me? That means, yes, we are all, well, human beings. We are all living on the same planet. However, it seems that the life expectancy is not the same. Okay, so there must be something, well, that can, well, help us to, well, stay longer in this beautiful world. Okay, so that means if we would like to, well, live longer, then we will have to look at the factors. Why? Okay, some people, they live longer, and some it seems to be shorter. Okay, so, well, here is just some interesting fact, okay? So you'll find that our Hong Kong SAR flag is on it, okay? So what are these national flags reflect? Okay, what they are? Well, they are the top five areas, okay, with the highest life expectancy. Want to know, well, where is Hong Kong? I mean, are we the winner or are we the, well, second runner-up? Well, actually, okay, the answer is, well, Hong Kong is doing really brilliant. We are not the top one, but we are the second runner up. Okay, here is also together with the, well, the age, okay, average age in this area. The first one, Monaco, okay, well, a small country, well, and then also with, well, very well-off, well-known as well-off country. And the second one, this one may be quite new to many of us who maybe, oh, I haven't heard about it. It's called San Marino. It is also a very small country. In Chinese, we call it Malik Lok. Okay, it is a small country within, okay, Italy. Okay, and Hong Kong, we are the third place. Well, we already overtook, well, Japan. Okay, and that means in Asia region, we are, well, the place with the longest life expectancy. So what does this mean to you? Well, sometimes when I was sharing in the class, well, some students actually quite scared. Well, they worry about it. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm retired at 65 years old. That means I still have to live for 20 years. What am I going to do? Okay. If you have this thought, or if you're worrying about this, then, well, we will have to have the planning as early as possible. I believe that many of us, well, we do have a lot of planning. For example, or at most a common one is the financial planning. We plan for well, where we're going to live. We plan for the economy and then everything. Okay. However, well, have you ever thought about that? Actually, when you are having your financial planner, well, have you ever thought about you also have to be, well, the health planner for yourself? Okay, so well, this is well, a calculator, okay, from the Office for National Statistics from United Kingdom. I'm not encouraging you to use the life expectancy calculator, but just would like to let you know, when I was using this calculator and then enter the age 50 and then female, and then well, it showed me some information. Well, according to this expectancy calculator, well, I'm expected to be, well, I mean, a 50-year-old, well, individual is expected to have 87 years old lifespan, and then probably even 100 years old, 7.6%. Okay, so your feeling. Okay, so is it a blessing? It's just a very quick question. Is it a blessing or it is a threat? Okay, so I hope that, well, these actually can be a blessing to us, because if we can live well in a healthy way, I believe that we can enjoy more. Imagine that we have been working so hard for so many decades. And if we can be healthy and enjoy the retiring life, be relaxed, and then it's actually a, well, a happy news, right? So according to WHO, again, where everybody can experience healthy aging, which is so true. Okay, so well, basically, when we can manage well some of the condition, indeed, well, our well-being, it is also kind of more guaranteed. So today, I would like to have a very well brief well sharing with you how to do it. Okay, so well, this is kind of like a triangle. Okay, in the middle, that is a healthy aging. That is what we want. Every single one of us, I believe we want it. And then how to do it? Well, first of all, I would say protect our body. we have to defense, okay? We have to have a good protection so as to our defense was something that might damage us. And then secondly, what you are now having, okay, maintained it as long as possible, okay? And then the third one, nourish the body. Well, so that you can stay well, okay, and then also even getting better. So now one by one, we can have a quick look, okay? So, well, why, first of all, why we are getting older? I mean, well, we are experiencing aging this process, but why it is happening? Well, first of all, we have to understand, well, yes, our body, well, the cell, they are, well, getting older, but then why somebody, they are getting older quicker? And somebody, well, they are, well, seems to be much slower. It seems that time is not affecting them at all. And I can guarantee you, they do not eating something like preservative, okay, but they just can preserve the body. First of all, it could be that, well, they will have a very good protector, okay, and then sad to say, in our modern environment, there are a lot of pollutants. Well, something like, well, the oxidants as well. And then also maybe something like virus. Well, this year we all experience this. And then our body, actually, we can defend this. But depends on the shield that you build for yourself, how strong it is. Okay. And of course, so today we won't be able to go through everything. But of course, if we were talking about diet, then let's have a look. Sorry that, well, it might be kind of like, well, get to feel, oh my God, it's going to be Christmas. It's going to be holiday. And today is weekend. And now you remind me that I shouldn't have this food. Okay. So, but anyway, do you think these food, they are damaging our body? Something like alcohol, no, some preserved meat, well, and also something like barbecue. Okay, and then also something like the chips or maybe something like the snack, okay? And then also, well, something we might not be expecting. Well, for example, even toast when it is overcooked. Okay, so are these food damaging our body? I would say yes, but it is not immediate. Maybe gradually. So all I can say is, well, they are something we called it, some of them, they are carcinogen. Okay, some of them, they with a chemical attacking our body. Okay, so well, is it that we can't have it at all? I would say no, but we just have to manage the amount. And then very important, that is in our diet. Actually, we also have some protector that can help us to get rid of them, or at least remove or reduce the bad effect of them. So that's why try to have a balanced diet. I know it is like a cliche, okay, but well, indeed, it is very important, especially some fruit and veggie. I love this picture actually. Well, it kind of like a rainbow. And indeed, well, the fruit and veggie with different colors, they contain a lot of antioxidant. Okay, so antioxidant, to a certain extent, I would say they are also like a shield. It is like a scavenger, help us to remove some of the substances that damage our body. Okay, so do remember that, well, strengthen our defense. So in our diet, in our environment, when we have, well, something attack our body, we can't get rid of them, then strengthen our shield. Okay. And then, yes, stay strong. Okay, so this one is also very important. Well, unfortunately, these days, well, with the good technology, we don't have to move that much now. Well, when I'm preparing this slide, that recall quite some years ago when I was studying in Australia. Actually, well, I had to go to do some grocery shopping, and it's actually just 5 minutes walk. But because my car was just, well, quite close to me, so I just drove there. And then, well, I can imagine, well, when we have a lot more well organized, a good system of transportation and everything, we don't move. Okay, so that is why, well, sometimes we also have to face the problem. That is, we are losing our muscle. Well, here I have a difficult term here. Okay, we next to muscle, you see the term we call sarcopenia. It is kind of like a condition that we are losing our muscle. Okay, and then also like our bone. This one I'm sure that many of us, so we have heard about it, osteoporosis, and then also some arthritis, which is the joint problem. Sad to say, many people, they think they are, yeah, the problem of the elderly, but I have to tell you, actually, no, well, yes, it is the problem, maybe happening, well, when we are old. However, it started when we were young. Okay, so our body is designed to, our body is designed, considering that we are moving. So if we are not moving, then our bone is getting weaker, our muscle is losing, our joint is also weaker as well. Okay, and so why we say it is a vicious cycle is because of, imagine when you have a weaker bone, you're easier to have bone fracture. And then when you have a weaker muscle, your joint is easier to have inflammation. Then when you feel the pain, you worry about, having fall, then you not move. And then it start a vicious cycle. So we got to stop it, okay? Again, balanced diet is the best, okay? But then, something that also kind of like quick a reminder, a diet which is low in calcium. For example, we don't drink milk at all. We don't have a calcium fortified food, or something, like we drink too much of coffee. I'm not sure if this is your problem. Okay, to me, yes, as a dietitian, sometimes I also fall into this trap. I am quite coffeeholic. So that's why I have to remind myself, drinking coffee is okay, but don't overdrink it, okay? And then also, like some protein consumption, which is not enough, okay? And then not enough vitamin D, okay? Which can be, from sunshine, or it can be from our diet, okay? And then also, yes, some of the good fat they're missing. Unfortunately, like what I mentioned, I won't be able to elaborate a lot, but bear in mind, if you would like to know more about this, we can always look for some more information, okay? And yes, something that I also would like to share with you, mobility shouldn't be defined by age. Many of us, we worry that I am old now, I better not to move. Well, I remember it was back in 2007, the first time that I did my kind of like a longer distance running, 10 kilometer. And then I was very young at that time. And then the guy next to me, or the gentleman next to me, I'm pretty sure that at that time he was like over 70 years old. And then I felt very shameful. He was running faster than me. Okay. And then at that time, I thought, when he could do it, was it because of after retirement, he started to do training? I'm pretty sure no. He had been training for when he was younger. Okay. And then when I read this news from about the Olympic, the news, how surprising. 100 years old, finished marathon. What do you think? So that means it is possible. And when you are so young, okay, even when you are 80 years old, to this gentleman, 80 years old to this young guy, right? So that means, yes, don't fall into the trap and define your mobility, define your age, define your health by age, okay? And almost the last that I would like to share with you, the strategy, which is about a healthier gut. Okay, so this one may be quite new, so that's why I say this is a cutting edge science. And now we are getting, knowing more about the role of gut. When we think about gut, I think many of us, we think of digestion, think of absorption, okay? True, these are still the hard fact. Our gut is doing this for us. But even, something newer that is very exciting, that is, there are a lot of microbiota, like a bacteria and something like that. They are living in our gut. They played a very important role as well. So the scientists, they find that maybe the gut microbiota, they are also playing a role in the longevity. Okay, so how many of them? Trillions. Okay, according to some study, the microbes, the microorganism in our gut, the number of them, it could be almost the same as the total number of cells in our body. And then many of them, they are living in our gut, okay? And even, more exciting, information, that is, 70% of our immunity cell, they're also located in our gut. So you can imagine, when we don't have a good microbiota balance in our gut, and then, maybe our immunity is also going to be affected. And now, the scientists, they're also working on like the cognition, like the brain, and then also some other, for example, like some other system, like our cardiovascular system, and then also circulatory system, respiratory system, maybe there are also linkage. Okay, and so that's why we do have to look after our gut. Okay, while we're enjoying food, think about whether your gut like it. Okay, all right. So, a quick, information sharing. it is interesting when we think about fiber. Okay, do you think you have enough? Very often in the class, I check with my student. Okay, they are a nutrition student. So I check with them, do you think you have enough fiber? Or many of them, they think, yes, I have enough. Okay, so according to our Hong Kong government suggestion, 25 gram per day. So what do you think about 25 gram? Okay, I think we have to make it more practical, right? You can't go to the restaurant and then order a food and then say, oh, well, I want 25 gram fiber. Okay, so very important that is you know what is meant by 25 gram fiber. Now I have a question for you. Well, vegetables, well, they all contain fiber. Many of them, they contain fiber, but not all of them, they are high fiber. Let me give you one example. Something like broccoli, dark green veggie, okay, they're always higher in fiber content. If you have one bowl, okay, with our rice bowl, Chinese rice bowl, how many grams do you think, well, fiber we have from one bowl of it? 10 gram? More or less? More. Okay, the bad news is, sorry, even less than 5 gram. Oh, yes, I know. That is your facial expression. Actually, it is my expectation. So, well, you may think it's not reasonable that I can have 25 gram. Well, but actually, it is exactly because of we don't have enough. And so that's why, like one of the very common, cancer in Hong Kong, colorectal cancer, that is related to our gut health. Okay. So 25 gram, it is not impossible, but we just need to have a good planning. Okay. Think about whether you have veggie every day. Think about whether you have fruit every day. And then also think about whether you have a high fiber or wholemeal cereal grain every day. Okay. And then actually, well, after the calculation, you will find that not even 25 gram, maybe you can hit 30 gram per day. All right. And then also like the prebiotics, well, many of them of prebiotic, actually they are fiber. So prebiotic, what is it? In Chinese, we call it 益生元. Okay. So actually it is the food for the good bacteria. Okay, so it is nourishing our gut, get our bacteria in our gut healthy. Okay, and then increase the variety of food. So you will find that no single food is perfect food. But when we have the more variety of them, then we are more likely to have all of the nutrients our body need. Okay, so think about, well, do I have different types of food every day? Okay, not just eating banana, but maybe also orange, but maybe also some other fruit. This is one of the example. Okay, all right. So sharing is good. Okay, and what I want to say is you can also be a influencer. Okay. These days, many people love to share the information. So that's what I put it the last. Okay. When we are looking for information, from the internet or maybe from some other sources, okay, you will find that there are a lot of eye-catching headlines or title or something like that, isn't it? Okay. Have you ever thought that what I am reading, is it really true or correct? Well, for example, we can use a lot of AI too, right? Okay. We can also use a lot of information searching engine. Okay. Well, we can be an influencer. Okay, it's true. And then many people can also be an influencer, but the influencer has to be a good influencer. Okay, so how to equip ourselves? Okay, that is the very prime important point, because the information from the internet, the information it is published doesn't mean it is always correct. Okay, so that's why if we can equip ourselves, we have a good knowledge, good background, then more likely we will be able to identify which information it is correct, which one is not that correct. We got to be careful. Okay, and so apart from this, that is, if we know more about the good information, okay, don't keep the information for yourself only. So that's why you can be a good influencer. And then, after learning something more about nutrition, don't just apply it for yourself. You can also apply it, okay, or influence, somebody close to you. Okay, so for example, your family, your friends, okay, and then why this is important. Sometimes when we are getting older, you will find that we are getting more lonely because sometimes maybe you are very active, you are very capable, but your friends, your family, they tell you, no, I can't do this anymore. I can't be your company. Okay. So that's why, well, we can also be a good influencer. Okay. Spreading the good news and then encourage everybody to have a good health. And then, so when we are getting older, it is not I am getting older. That is, we are getting older, but we are also getting healthier. Okay. So, well, when it comes to this slide again, well, I showed it in the very beginning. Okay, so do you still agree with that? Okay, like we always have to have a more sedentary lifestyle? Not necessarily. Okay, I would say tend to be more sedentary, but we can still stay active. Okay, so when we are still capable, okay, maintain our capability. Well, has my brain has to be slower? Well, not necessarily. Okay. So you will find that some elderly, well, they even have a better memory than me. Okay. So it's all because of, well, sometimes the diet, the lifestyle that can keep our mind always smart and bright. Okay. And then, yes, is it really sleep less? Well, this one I didn't really mention a lot in the slides, but according to the study, actually it is no. Well, the sleeping time is still the same, but just the bedtime at night it is shorter. But then the daytime, it is always like a very sleepy, drowsy. Adding up together, it could be still the same. All right. However, with a good diet, with a good lifestyle, actually the sleeping quality at night, it can still be well kept. And then with daytime that you are not that drowsy, then of course, well, we can have our activity. We can enjoy the daytime more. Okay, outdoor activity as well. Then we don't have to always like, oh, I want to sleep. Okay, and of course, does it have to be lonely? No, I don't think so. Okay. So, well, when you are active, when you spread the good news, everybody enjoy the good health, okay, with a healthy aging. And then, of course, we can still have, our good friends, our good family always with us, okay? So we don't have to, feel that, yes, aging means lonely, okay? So, well, I hope today that I share a bit of the information, okay, with you, and then knowing more about aging. Okay, actually, it is not talking about age. Actually, it is talking about yes, it is a natural process that happened in our body, but it doesn't mean that it has to be negative. Well, we can create a lot of positivity. Okay, so when we look after our body well. Okay, so yes, I believe that all of us have heard about this. Health is wealth, or vice versa. Wealth is health. Okay, it is true indeed. Okay, well, think about that. You don't have to pay money for a doctor. You don't have to pay money for so much of the dental visit. Okay, so already saved up a lot of money. And on the other hand, when we have a good health, then after all, it is exactly the wellness. And then more important is, this wealth cannot be stolen by others. It belongs to you forever. Okay. So yes, this is the quote, okay, from this gentleman, okay, Mr. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Yes, he said the first wealth is health. We can create many wealth, true, but don't forget that the first wealth that we have to create for ourselves, it should be our health. Okay, all right. So this is something that we'd like to share with you today, and also would like to see if there is any questions. Well, you're more than welcome to also have the question in Cantonese or Chinese if that is easy for you.
Slow down our aging process?
Oh, well, this is a very good and also complicated question. Okay. Well, aging, it is the process, we can't stop it. I have to say, but very good. I like the description of this gentleman. Yes, aging, it is the process that we can slow it down. Okay, which is true. Well, of course, if I try to go back to the slide, okay, that I mentioned before, what is meant by aging? Aging, it is a process that causes our body to decline. Okay, so it's natural that our body, it is declining. So for example, like some cell senescence. Okay, what is meant by cell senescence? It is indeed like, the cell stop dividing. Okay, so it maintains the same. All right. So, well, just imagine like a piece of leaf, 一塊樹葉, okay? It won't keep getting bigger and bigger to a point that the size is fixed, okay? So it's just like our body, the cell, it is also the same. When it grows and then to one point, then it will stop growing. So if we want to slow down the aging, okay, we want to slow down, something that, getting really old, then that is have, something like what I mentioned, that is, defense, okay, build a stronger defense of our body, avoid, all sort of, the carcinogen, antioxidants, something like that, okay, that attack us because, our cell is there and it is damaged, and then all sort of, the aging will be speed up. And the number two, okay, that is we have to maintain what we have. If we have this, okay, maintain it. And then last one, that is to nourish our body. Just like what we mentioned, like our gut health. If our gut is healthy, then all of the system they function normally. And then the process of aging, it can be slowed down. Okay, so I hope this answers your question. Of course, for some more detailed practical part, maybe today we don't have enough time. Okay, sorry about that. Yes.
I just want to ask, is it helpful to buy some probiotic supplement
Wow, okay.
for my gut?
Okay, so why I'm expecting this question actually. When I mention about gut microbiota, I'm expecting this question. Super good question. Okay, probiotic. When we look at the market, I can see that there are a lot of different types of probiotic. Well, at the moment, all I can say is, we still don't know too much about them. Okay, that is the tricky part. Okay, because, if we look at the microorganism in our body, so it is not just the number, trillions, and it is also about the type. Many of them are also they are living in our gut. So we know that, some of we call the probiotic. That means they are the good bacteria. They're living in our gut. Okay. The point is, we know if the good bacteria they are missing, then it affects our general health. But the matter is, do you know which good bacteria you are missing? And I don't know either. Okay. So this is the difficult part. Well, because it is not just missing like a vitamin C or you are missing calcium. Well, but there are many bacteria in our gut. So which one we are missing, we don't know. And even if you know, the second difficult question that is how much you are going to have so as to fix the problem. This is also another problem, okay? So, if you are asking me, what can I take this supplement? I would say, if you really want to have it, check with your, healthcare professional first of all, to see if you really need it, okay? Number two, I am recommended to have something. Okay, and then go to the market, go to the shop, have a look, to see whether it is a clear indication. For example, what strains, can be found. Okay, and then also the number of them. Don't forget that more doesn't mean better. Because when we have too much, then it can also disrupt this ecosystem. Okay, so that's why, can we go for that? I would say, yes, why not? But before you do it, ask yourself the questions. Well, which one I need? Well, first of all, is do I really need it? Number two, which one should I go? And then number three, how much should I have? And then also pay attention to some possible side effect because, the supplement, there is always a potential risk. Okay. Okay, so I hope this answers your question. No, that's okay.
So I want to ask, how about the yogurt,
Yogurt.
especially the Greek yogurt, is it helpful for our health?
Okay, so thank you. All right. Okay, so for yogurt, well, back to something which is more, how to say, closer to our diet, I would say, because the diet, probiotic, it is a supplement. Yogurt, it is a food. Okay, I would say it is always safer to eat food rather than the supplement. Okay, so for yogurt, I will consider, what do you want? Or what are you expecting from yogurt? If I am looking for something like calcium, okay, protein, for sure yogurt is a good choice, but also be careful of the high sugar trap. Okay, but if you are thinking about some probiotic there, then again we will have to be careful because we don't know how much they are still there, okay, for the yogurt. And then, but anyhow, it is a good food, okay? So it support our gut health, okay, with, some nutrient in it usually, okay? And, you mentioned about, the lady mentioned something about Greek yogurt, okay? So Greek yogurt is well known for expensive. Okay, and then of course may like the texture as well. In terms of food, I would say, more expensive doesn't mean it is always better. Okay, so Greek yogurt, it has characteristic. It is the special texture. Okay, yes, it could be quite expensive, but sometimes it can also be quite high in fat. Okay, so to me as a dietitian, I would say it doesn't matter it is Greek yogurt or it is the other types of yogurt. More important to me, it is the sugar content, the fat content, whether it provides me enough protein and calcium. Okay, so that's why knowing how to read the nutrition fact actually is quite important, and so that's why yes, equip ourselves with a good knowledge, how to read the nutrition information. This is also one of the things that can help us slow down, aging process properly. Okay, so I hope this answers your question. Thank you. I pass.
Okay, so I'd just like to thank Clara for a very interesting talk. I think you agree. We've all learned a little bit more, and we know a little bit more and motivated to make changes to help us achieve a healthy life in the future. So I'd like to let's give Clara a round of thanks. Also, I don't know, online there's no questions, right? No? Okay, so before we actually leave, I just, because you've got a wealth of information. So just to let you know, we've got a number of courses that we offer at Hong Kong U Space, and I just wanted to share with you the next 3 courses that we've got coming that will be starting in January. So if you want to learn more about what you've just heard, how to read labels, how to decide what about the microbiome, you want to know a little bit more about the bacteria and things. You can join any of these courses that are now open for application. Be aware the application deadline is very soon. So if you're interested, please look at it, because these courses, the Advanced Certificate in Child and Adolescent Nutrition will start in the 2nd of January. Advanced Certificate in Nutrition will start on the 6th of January, and our Advanced Diploma in Nutrition on the 13th of January. So please feel free to have a look at those and then sign up soon if that's what you're interested and you want to learn more to achieve a healthy aging. Okay. And then finally, if you want to keep update, learn more information and know what we're offering here at Hong Kong U Space, other than the 3 courses I've just mentioned, feel free to follow us on Facebook and IG. At this point, I'd like to say thank you to everybody for coming. Thank you to the audience who are in the room, and also thank you for those of you who've joined us online. So look forward to seeing you in class sometime. So thank you very much, everybody.